case if you were wondering, yes, I did legitimately throw a NFL-sized football at my phone. And I think it turned out pretty good, though. Anyways, welcome to the Micah Zone. If you have any better names, drop them in the comments. That is the best that ChatGPT and I could come up with. So, it's like red zone, end zone, you get the point. Anyways, I'm going to jump right into this because my goal is to have all videos at like 10 minutes because I know most people, at least in this generation, have a very short attention span. I will probably have to add Subway Surfers to this, but we'll see. Anyways, today I'm going through the AFC West. I'll be doing a full prediction for all four teams, which includes the Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Chargers, and Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry, I had San Diego in my head for a split second there. Let's get right into it. First off, the defending AFC champions. There's some team called the Kansas City Chiefs, and their mascot is a referee. Let's get into it. So they open up week 1. I think that's in Rio. I'm not entirely sure. I believe it's in Rio. I got that as a win versus the Chargers. Next week, Super Bowl rematch. They're losing. It's in Arrowhead. It doesn't matter. They cannot stop Saquon Barkley. Now, week 3, bye week against the Giants. Week 4, great game. But I have the Ravens coming into Arrowhead, getting a win there. Next up is the Jaguars. I don't know why I said that weird, but Chiefs win. Week 6, got the Lions. I think that'll be obviously a great game, but it'll probably be some ridiculous holding call or pass interference, and they'll win like 23-22 or something ridiculous. Next week, another bye week against the Raiders. Good luck, Ashton Genty. Yeah, Chiefs are winning that one. Then you get the Commanders. That's an exciting game. I do not think the Commanders can compete with them just yet, though. Then you go to Buffalo, not a playoff game, so Chiefs lose that one. Then you go to Denver, another loss. I don't know when the last time they lost back-to-back games was, but there's that. You get the Colts, basically a bye week. You get the Cowboys, who I obviously love, but yeah, that's going to be a rough day. Then you get the Texans. I have that also as a win. Chargers, lost this time at Arrowhead. Then you get the Titans. Good luck, Cam Ward. I like the guy, but I have the Chiefs winning that one. And then the close of the season being the Broncos and the Raiders. So, Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, will go 12-5. By the way, at the end of this video, I will show where the teams go in the playoff bracket. I've already done every single team and have a whole playoff bracket, but you'll see the AFC West portion of the playoff bracket. So, the teams that get into the bracket. It'll make sense at the end. Moving along, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders fans, I apologize. You're gonna have a long year. You have Ashton Genty though, so that's pretty cool. I really wanted him, but we had to go ahead and win a few games and fell out of reach. Anyways, starting off week 1 at New England. Yeah, that's gonna be one of the games of all time. Yeah, Raiders are gonna lose that one. Probably like 16-13, something like that. And then lost to the Chargers, lost to the Commanders, lost to the Bears. You kind of get the gist here. Yeah, I do like the addition of Pete Carroll, and I think Geno Smith is a solid quarterback. But he might be getting written off this season. They do get a win against the Colts in week 5, and then a win against the Titans in week 6. So there you go, back-to-back wins. You're 2-4 now, but then you gotta play the Chiefs, and honestly, that game will probably like 19-17 or something. But again, holding call, missed pass interference, double doink, something. Chiefs will win. Bye week, then you get the Jaguars. That's a win. At Denver, that's a loss. Cowboys, I'm going to give my Cowboys a little bit of love here. I do think they'll beat the Raiders. It'll probably be a sloppy game, but I got to give the Cowboys a little something. I'll give them that one. Raiders get to play probably Shedeur Sanders at week 12. That's my bet. I think we'll get into the Browns schedule later, but I think Shedeur or Dylan, someone not named Joe Flacco, will be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns by week 12. Next up, Chargers, another loss to the Chargers, then another loss to the Broncos. Then you got to play the Eagles. that's not. I will definitely bet whatever the Eagles over is on that game, because that's gonna be rough. Then you got the Texans loss, Giants. That's a tough loss. This is probably gonna be a seeding game, or not a seeding game. Excuse me, a game where you're trying to figure out who gets the top pick. So a draft game, and they're not. I mean, that's actually kind of a win for them, but yeah, lost the Giants, and then they might be playing. No, they won't be playing the Chiefs back after this point, according to my schedule. But they still lose. Doesn't matter. So I have the Las Vegas Raiders under head coach Pete Carroll going 4-13. But hey, high draft pick. You can get an offensive lineman for Ashton Jeanty or something, or a quarterback maybe. Next up is the Los Angeles Chargers. There's been a lot of hype around the Chargers. And I haven't bought fully into it, but my goodness, I look at this schedule and I'm like, oh, yeah, this team's definitely at least going to the playoffs, possibly more. They have a great schedule. They got head coach Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. I do know I believe Rashawn Slater is done for the year. That's a tough loss, but I do think this team is still very talented. We still got Khalil Mack and Derwin James Jr. on defense, so I do think this will still be a really good team. And I like their schedule. Anyways, they play the Chiefs. I already said that's a loss for them. And then they get the Raiders, win for them. Denver, win. Giants, bye week. Commanders, loss. Good game, though. At Miami, win. Colts, win. Vikings, win. This is kind of repetitive. Wow. At Titans, win. I have them going on a heck of a winning streak here. And I think you look at these games, Dolphins, Colts, Vikings, Titans, Steelers, Jaguars. I mean, if they don't go at worst 5-1, if they don't go 5-1 in that, at least, I think that's kind of a disappointment. I mean, they cannot be going 4-2 here. So I have over that 6-week stretch them going straight through, winning. This is an experienced team, experienced quarterback. It's time to prove it. I got them winning 6 straight, and actually 7 straight, because then they beat the Raiders. But then they got to face Saquon Barkley and the Jalen Hurts QB sneak or tush push Eagles, and that's a loss. Then I have them going to Arrowhead, as mentioned before, getting the win. It's kind of a lot of repeats when doing these schedule predictions. And then at the Dallas Cowboys, that is a win for them. Sorry again to my Cowboys, but they're not winning that. The Cowboys are not winning that one. Unfortunately for the Chargers, they're 12-3 at this point, but I am going to have them losing a couple more games here. I think Texans is close. I think the Texans are going to be a little bit hungrier at this point in the season. You'll see the Texans video later. But I think the Texans are going to be a little bit hungry at this point. I think they're going to need that game a little bit more. This is also possibly a seeding game for the Texans, because this could be, are they going to be a 3 seed or 4 seed? So I have the Texans winning this one. And then I have the Broncos also, well, we'll see it in like 20 seconds, but I think they'll also be in kind of a must-win, more eager situation where they are going to need a win in order to make the playoffs. And so they're going to be a little hungrier. But Chargers still finished 12-5, so that's a pretty good record. That's a good record to have. Moving on, last but not least, because the Raiders are least, the Denver Broncos. We got another season of Bo Nix. This is his sophomore year in college now. And you got J.K. Dobbins. I like him. And obviously you have Patrick Surtain on defense. And the entire defense itself is just really good. And you have a Super Bowl winning head coach in Sean Payton. So very talented team. I do think they'll be like slightly better than last season. I don't have them doing a lot better. I think a lot of NFL quarterbacks, at least recently, we've seen kind of a bit of a sophomore slump. Not majorly, but you look at C.J. Stroud last year, and you look at other quarterbacks. I'm blanking. I think Joe Burrow didn't really have a sophomore slump, I would say, but you look at a lot of quarterbacks, I think in recent memory, I see a sophomore slump happening. Great first year by Bo Nix. Kind of mediocre second year. Not necessarily too much worse, but just not the leap up you might be expecting. I've heard a lot of Bo Nix talk recently, and I think he will have a solid year. I don't think he's going to be insane. That being said, let's go into the schedule. Against the Titans, nice start. Nice start. Sorry, Cam Ward. Titans is a win. Colts is a win. Chargers, as I said before, that's a loss. I have them splitting. Bengals, rematch of last year, which was a really good game. But they're going to lose again, this time in Denver. And then you got to play the Eagles again, which that's a loss. Or not again, excuse me. Every AFC West team is playing every NFC's team. So the Eagles, I have them going 4-0. Little spoiler warning there against the AFC West. So the Broncos lose to the Eagles, but they get a win against the Jets. They get a bye week against the Giants. They get basically another bye week against my beloved Cowboys. Yeah, they're not winning that one, especially in Denver. No. But then they have to go to a team in Texas that's a little bit better, and probably actually a lot better if I'm being honest. But the Houston Texans, CJ Stroud, take care of the Broncos. But then they get the Raiders, that's a win. But then they get the Chiefs, that's a loss. And then another loss to the Commanders I have. And then another win against the Raiders. Loss against the Packers. That'll probably be a really good game, though. That'll probably be America's Game of the Week if I were betting man, which I might be. Jaguars, that's a win. Chiefs, that's a win. Chargers, that's a win. So, I have the Broncos going 10-7, and you see in this endgame stretch, I have them like going on fire into the playoffs because that is that's a solid 3-game win stretch. They're gonna have to go. I have them going into Arrowhead and getting a win. I think this team is gonna get just, I don't know, super locked in, just hitting guys, ready to go. I'm blanking for words. I apologize. It's a little late, but I do have the Broncos going 10-7 and making the playoffs. So let's go to the playoff bracket. Hopefully, I have a picture of that showing up. Right now, I'm only showing the teams from the AFC West that I have making it. Again, I have completed all of this, but for right now, I'm just starting off division by division. So this is part 1 of an 8-part series. Today is the AFC West. I have the Chargers at the 3 seed, at least I think. I believe that's what I had. Now, it's interesting. Some of you might be in the comments screaming, oh my gosh, how is that possible? They have the same exact record as the Chiefs. It is because they have fewer AFC losses. So, therefore, the Chiefs are not going to win the division for the first time in, I think, 2015? Since, Peyton Manning, probably? Maybe not that long, but at least 2018. It's been a long time since someone other than the Kansas City Chiefs have won the AFC West, and I predict that will happen this season. It's going to be really close. It's going to be really close. But I do have the Los Angeles Chargers winning the AFC West and clinching the 3 seed. Congratulations. Congratulations. And then following up the Chiefs, I have them at the 6th seed. And then last but, kind of least actually in the bracket, literally, the 7th seed I have the Broncos. So great season by the AFC West. I think this is one of the best conferences in the National Football League. Very tough. I think you got some great defense, especially with the Broncos and the Chiefs. I think this is a really good division. And I have 3 playoff teams from the AFC West. So we're starting out with quite a banner. Trust me, there's going to be some less fun videos coming out. Not my fault. It's the team's fault. I'm not the general manager. I'm just the messenger here, or the predictor, I guess. I have Broncos at 10-7, Chiefs at 12-5, Chargers at 12-5, and Raiders at 4-13, with the Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers making the playoffs. That is it for this video. That was probably over 10 minutes. I keep looking at the clock here. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, which I probably am. Feel free to share any other ideas for channel names or channel videos. But that is the AFC West predictions. Thank you for watching.